This is how to adjust the foam inserts inside the Shoei X14 helmet for race versus road use. The one complaint I had about earlier Shoeis is that I always had to get the thicker pad on the inside top, because when I put the helmet on, it just seemed like I couldn't get much of an angle viewing out the front without this part blocking my view. In other words, my head was too far up inside the helmet. So I'd always get the thicker top pad and it would move it up just a little bit so that I could see better with my head down. Now, if most of the riding you do is sitting upright, it's not going to really be an issue because the helmet's made to see perfectly out front. However, if you're driving in more of an aggressive position, especially on track use, where you've got your body leaned down, your head is down, it's going to be more imperative that you get a line of sight that lets you see through here. And you're going to find this being an issue. So what Shoei did on the X14 is they actually made a different foam position inside to give you an extra 4 degrees of rotation of the helmet on your head. In other words, that much more view. So you could rotate your head 4 degrees downward more and still get the same line of sight as before. I didn't even know about this when I first bought the X14. It wasn't until someone in the forum pointed out when I was talking about how I was struggling to get the head down far enough and still be able to see out the front during the Texas Mile. Now you're going to have 3 pieces that you're concerned with for this adjustment. You're going to have the 2 cheek pads and the rear piece. So let's start with one of the cheek pads. Go ahead and pull the strap out, unsnap it from its 3 snaps. And when you lay it out, you'll see that you actually have 2 snaps here and a 3rd one here. So they refer to these as A and B, and then this one is C. So C, they just say to leave alone. That's the far back one in position, far back to the helmet, snaps right in there, leave that one alone. For these 2, however, A and B, what they're saying is that for standard position or road position, you would put that little snap and you basically just shift it over like that. So see how it went from the middle to being over on the end? And then the same with this one. You would shift it from being in the middle to being on the end over here. So in road use, both A and B would be in the far position away from the big gap. So here's the big end of the slot. You want it to be all the way over for road position. That means more of an upright. If you're going to be using it more for aggressive riding, whether it's on the road or on the track, and you need that extra 4 degrees of vision, then what you do is scoot it back to the middle position. You can hear it snap, and that one goes into it as well. Now see how they're in the middle of their slot. So that's where you want it for the racing position. And then you simply roll it back. We put the chin strap back in, and you snap these all in place. Snap, snap, and snap. Okay, let's do the other side. This cheek pad is going to be the same deal. You pop it out, get your strap out of the way, and the same kind of thing. Back here, C gets left alone, so don't do anything with that. But for these 2, both of them, same thing. If I want them in the road position, I scoot them all the way to the edge of the slot, there and there. And then if I want the race position, I put them back in the middle, middle, and middle. And there's my middle positions, and then I snap them back in place, put the strap through, snap, snap, and snap. Now the last one is the rear. So I unsnap, unsnap, and I'm going to pull that out. And now what you can see is you have 2 snaps, one there and one here. If I want it in the road position or normal, then I would push them upward, which means up in body position in the helmet. So it would be, and they have to kind of go around this little, kind of have to push them in and then out and around. So it's in the upward position towards the top of the helmet. Push it kind of in towards the middle and then rotate it around. And now that's in the upper position as well of this little slot here that's kind of arced. So again, up at the top of this is the road or street position. In other words, the more upright option. And then if you're going to be riding more aggressive or on a track where you need that extra 4 degrees of visibility, then you just rotate them to the bottom of their slots, both of them. And then make sure that you get these hooks back in place. You can see those kind of go in here, like that. Here's the center one, this one. It's got to go into its slot. There we go. And then that's ready to snap back in place. There and there. And that's how you get an extra 4 degrees visibility in angle for being able to ride a little bit more aggressively and still see where you're going. Subscribe to my YouTube channel below and let's celebrate turning fuel and air into adrenaline.